change up. Traffic talk.
What's up, guys? It's Tyron here again, also known as Odly Otter, and this is another one of those traffic talks that you guys love so much. And I want to quickly run through some stuff that's happened in the last week, between the last time we had this chat, just you and me, and kind of not really in an order of importance or anything like that, but highlights that you may or not be aware of, may or may not be aware of. And the first one of those is I cut my hair. Look at it. It's nice and it's fresh. Look at it. That's, when people say keep it tidy, that's what they mean. That's a highlight to me. It's nice. It feels good. I think it looks good. I know this doesn't, but we'll move on from that. That was one of those really important news things you guys need to be up to date with on a motorbike. Another really cool thing you guys need to be up to date with is, let's see, what happened last week. Oh, Middle States and Eve Tech got together with Lenovo as well, and they did that hashtag Join the Legion. If you guys don't know what that is, it was basically an event for Dota 2 that they streamed and had a bit of an audience to at the Eve Tech studios. I really wanted to go to that. In fact, I actually had tickets to go to that, and then I found out that I had another event that I needed to attend to. Well, I had to attend it, so I couldn't make it to the Middle State one, which was kind of sucky, but it was still cool. I still was able to join the stream. I was still able to see a little bit of what was going on. There were some trolls in the chat, which I'll mention now because that will come up in another topic later. But yeah, it was good. It was good to hear the shoutcasts who did a bit of like a noob explanation of everything, which is really helpful for someone who doesn't know Dota. Like, I played Dota when it was still a mod in Warcraft, and then I played it again when it I played it once or twice since it became Dota 2. It's like a little independent thing that it is. But I suck at that game. Well, let's just be honest. My friends always used to play it when it was still a mod. I used to refer to it as the 4 little fourth word, because it was just I hated it. I could never get into it. They would always just wipe the floor with me in that game. But yeah, it was good to hear other people who kind of were playing this, and then the shoutcasters who did the explanation did it in such a way that I could understand a little bit what was going on. And that was cool. That was like kind of a highlight from the esports side of things. Another more important thing that's happened recently, which again, this isn't a news like talk thing. This is just stuff that I'm trying to highlight. And so if you're looking for real news information, you should probably look elsewhere. But something that has happened, which is kind of important, is all the stuff going on in Zim. The really condensed explanation, for those of you who probably have no idea, would be that Mugabe tried to fire someone, and everyone is basically saying that the reason he tried to do that is because he's trying to get rid of, or open up that space so that he can subtly bring his wife in there. So should something happen to him, she takes over, which effectively means the rules still stays within the party. Well, within the family, actually. Military in Zim did not like that, rightly so, and they rolled up into Harare. They say it wasn't a coup, which, anyway, they rock up, they take over the broadcasts, and they basically say to him, you have until noon on Monday, so that was yesterday, to resign, and it's time for change. So that's kind of where we were. And yesterday, Mugabe goes and he has to give a speech, and everyone's expecting him to resign. This is like, everyone's excited. The world is kind of watching at this point, keen to see what's going to happen. and this is change that people in Zim, people around the world have been waiting for. And he basically trolls everyone, and he's just like, nope, no, I'm not going anywhere, I'm staying where I am. And he refuses to resign. That kind of leaves us now where we are at, where the ZANU-PF party have turned around and said, well, now we'll start the process of impeaching this guy to get him out. And we'll hear more about that probably by Friday this week, to see what's going to happen to him, how he's going to be impeached. Apparently a lot of his powers already been removed. They've trying to take over in that sense, where they've removed some of the power and authority that he has had, so they can run things better and facilitate this change that needs to happen. I mean, this is important. This guy's 93 years old. If you don't know what's happened in Zim and you're very confused, I'm going to be very surprised, because this is like big stuff that's happening in a not so far away from us here in South Africa, and it's important. I'm not going to make light of the situation. The dude needs to leave. Change needs to happen so that the country can start to hopefully heal itself and build itself back up, which is going to take a very long time. So the quicker he leaves, the quicker the recovery can happen. So that's the news stuff that has happened. Stuff that is going to happen, I'm going to highlight a few things again. How much time do we have? Yeah, we got time. We've got a good amount of time. Hoo-wee. So this might be a slightly longer one, but there's timestamps. If you don't know that yet, there's timestamps at the bottom where you can jump to each topic. So stuff that I'm going to highlight tomorrow, which is Wednesday, there's going to be a event happening that Sam, aka Tech Girl, is going to be doing at the Nintendo pop-up store here in Sandton, and that's going to be the reason I'm highlighting that is this kind of like a public event that you can RSVP to, get a guest spot on the guest list to arrive to this, and it's her and it's Rob Forbes that are going to be versing one another at the Nintendo pop-up store playing Splatoon. And the cool thing about this is that if you guys sign up, you can either choose to be on her side, the Cherries I think it was, or on Rob's side, who I can't remember what his team was, but you could choose one of these two, and you would work as a team after you've played a while to kind of see who wins, and whichever team wins, whichever person wins the whole event, there may be, I think it was a SNES. I think there was a SNES up for grabs that you could win, which is quite cool. Apparently there's going to be a little bit of swag that you can get if you go to this. Apparently there can be some, there's going to be eats and stuff like that, yeah. So it sounds like quite a cool event. If you haven't heard of it, and this is the first time you've heard of it, Google Tech Girl. I think the website is actually techgirl.co.za or techgirlblog.co.za. I think she's got info on there, or check it out on Twitter if you want to attend something like that. It is going to be quite a cool event. The Nintendo pop-up store seems, every single time I see people there, it always looks like it's a whole lot of fun. If you haven't played on the Nintendo Switch, this is your opportunity to go try it out. It's now been named, recently it's been named the Tech Gadget of the Year. So this thing is kind of impressing a lot of people, myself included. Anyway, moving off of that topic, what else is happening news-wise? I can't think of anything else that's happening in terms of news in the next couple of days. I'm probably forgetting stuff. If I am, oh well. Again, it's not a highlight of that kind of information. While we're talking about this Tech Girl event that's happening, let me talk about something that I read actually recently, and it's somewhat related. And this is kind of a serious topic, so I'm going to rant a little bit, and I don't really care if you're not interested. I'm going to do it anyway, because This is my channel. So, something that I read, I need to change lanes. That's not what I read. Come on, guy. Where you going? Hey, man. We can play in turn the corner. So, something that I read was this unfortunate thing that's happening within, I wouldn't say the YouTube scene, I would say the local scene with creators. So last week I had this whole rant about creators. If you are a creator, just go and create. Forget the haters, forget the drama surrounding it. Do it because you enjoy doing it. That's the primary reason you should be doing all of this stuff. That was my rant last week. If you want to check that out, there's a playlist, there's stuff happening, you can go check that out. This is now on the reverse side. Article that I read was basically an article where and you guys probably know who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to give too many details. But basically this poor person who is super involved in the esports community, who is very much even at their own expense trying to get things growing in South Africa, and she's been hectically slandered by haters, by trolls. She's been accused of only making the success she has because of sexual favors that she's done, and so there's a whole article about this. Again, I'm not pointing you in those directions, but that kind of slander is something that I want to pick up on. So that whole accusation is just, it's terrible to hear, and it's false. Like, let's just assume the best in the situation. And what really irritates me is that, having followed a little bit of this happen, having actually seen some of this stuff being said online, it just, to be quite frank, it makes me want to punch someone in the throat. Like, why use a public platform to make those type of accusations? This is definitely someone who is jealous of success. They need to find a reason to pull people down. They are either, I don't know what honestly, I don't know what goes through someone's mind who thinks they can use online platforms to slander one another. And you see this is not just a defense in this particular situation. This is just a standard statement. The local scene and the hate that happens and the slander that happens back and forth. That's why I mentioned it earlier with the Dota 2 thing. People spamming chat with trollish comments. It's so unnecessary. And I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but no one's going to invest in a community, in the local gaming community or the local creative community, if they see how divided we are as a community. Like, no one's going to invest money into a situation where there's just drama llama the whole time. That's just doesn't make business sense. You don't want to pick sides by doing something like that, by throwing money behind one person or the other. And if it seems so self-destructive, it doesn't make any investment sense. No one wants to build their business or align their business with that kind of thing. So if you are someone who slanders people, you should be punched in the throat. That's kind of my statement. And yeah, don't go around accusing ladies or guys or anyone of things that are damaging to their reputation in that sense. Don't go around slandering people. If you have a problem with someone, pick up the phone and talk to them. And if you don't like them, don't deal with them. But don't go around talking about them behind their back, trying to bring them down and break them down. It's not cool. It's not cool, guys. So please, if you're someone who's like that, or if you know someone like that, send them this part of the video and tell them this is your approach to how you deal with people who slander them, and that they should expect to be punched in the throat. I'm not promoting violence. Well, I kind of am, because somehow someone needs to tell these people to shut up. So if you slander people, you need to shut up. That's my little rant about that. I could probably say more, but I don't really want to, because, well, you know, time. But basically, yes, don't go around slandering people, guys. Like, please grow up. We're not in high school anymore. If you are still in high school, that's okay to still be in high school, but don't act like you're still in high school. Don't act like you're still some little kiddie. If you want to roll in these local scene environments, please leave your drama llama and your emotions and your issues with other people and your little gossipy circle stuff behind. Like, let's be somewhat more professional, please. That's my general statement on that issue. Something else that I want to talk about, and there's a lot that can be said around this next topic, and so I'm going to keep it short, and I'm also going to I have to give you a slight warning to this. This is about Stranger Things 2, guys. So I'm quite a slow, well, not slow, I'm quite delayed when it comes to catching up on this type of thing and watching all this type of content, because I have other things to do and I can't just binge watch an entire series. Those of you who have seen it ahead of time, that's cool. If you haven't seen it, I'm kind of warning you. I'm going to probably say one or two things here that are going to be slight spoilers, so if you haven't, then you can stop the video here, like and subscribe, share and care, and I'll see you in the next one. If you are still here and you haven't seen it, that's your own fault if you don't like spoilers. But if you have seen it, this is just going to be very, very vague. I'm still going to try to keep this vague, so please watch till the end. That would be nice of you. I need to change. Just hold on a second. So, Stranger Things. I haven't watched the whole thing. I'm on the last episode, which is like an hour long, so I need to find time in my life to do that. But the one thing that I need to highlight in the show, which I thought was really good, is just the way the narrative is done. I mean, if you haven't watched any of this show, it's set in the 80s pretty much, that type of vibe. It is a horror, not horror, more of like a suspense TV series following these kids around. Well, yeah, a group of kids and then some slightly older guys, as there's like this weird stuff happening in the town. I don't want to explain too much, because if you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin it for you. But just the way this was told. So one of the characters who basically is key to this whole story is a kid named Will. And as an actor, the person who, I can't remember his name, so whoops, but he did a amazing job in his acting so far. But the story is so well told because it's set deep within a narrative, and it is, you know what, something that irritates me about TV shows, right, is that you can kind of carry on the same theme over and over again. It's one of the things that irritates me about some of the DC TV series at the moment. There's always just another villain to fight. There's always another bad guy. But this show's kind of a coming of age that's happening with these kids as they grow up, as they start to figure out that there's like ladies, and then the two of them have like a crush on the same girl, which is kind of interesting to see how that all works out in the show. They're kind of growing up in that sense. They're dealing with like all this junk that's going on around them, the suspense. Their friend, who they think is a little bit messed up from the previous series, again, I'm not trying to spoil anything here, but there's all that going on. Then you've got these teens which are processing everything that's happened previously, and they're still trying to grow up, and they're still trying to, you know, live their lives normally, but can't figure it out. But it follows two of those guys, well, three of those teens around. It follows these two new people that come in. It's just so well told. Look, I have a slight issue with one of the new characters, Bob, who kind of seems to be a story crutch, really. Like, he comes in, he's around, he does a thing that moves the story forward, and then that's pretty much all he was there for, which is it's a narrative tool, and it's okay. But you know, it would have been nice if they could have maybe built him up a little bit more to, like, build him in. Hey, there's a guy over there on a motorbike that is someone I know. Hey, Hey, he can't see me. Or he can't hear me. Hey guy, I'll see you there. Okay. Anyway, that's kind of my little pitch. Really well told story. So if you haven't watched this, the way it's set, the way it is very accurate to the time, and the way it deals with so many different narratives at the same time is really, really good. It's told so well, definitely compared to what you see on normal television in like the DC universe or any other normal TV series. This is told in a way that keeps you hooked into the episode. You want to come back for another one. That's why everyone binges it. But yeah, that's kind of my little statement about it. Please check it out. It is probably one of the better TV series I've seen this year. Better TV series I've seen last year. The only thing that I would probably recommend more than that, and that's just because I'm like a super big geek, is Doctor Who. Because I mean, Doctor Who is amazing. It's super sci-fi. It's super cool to see the characters grow there. But I'm not going to start that whole narrative now because I'm close to my work, so I need to say goodbye. And we're at 21 minutes, 22 minutes, more or less. And that's kind of where I want to cut these off anyway. So, thanks for coming. I will see you guys in another video soon-ish. No promises on when. Definitely next week at least. And yeah. I will like to ask you guys, please, can you like and subscribe? Do that sharing and caring. Tell your friends, tell your aunties, tell your uncles, tell your, hey man, tell your oaks, man. Come on, be a nice guy or girl. Sharing is caring. Like and subscribe. Please drop comments if there's things that you want to talk about, or if there's things you want me to talk about in the next one coming up. And yeah, I will see you online. If you want, you can follow me on the Twitter sphere at Otter. Okay,